A third map in our first quarterfinal, our first match here in the Oracle Arena for Intel Extreme Masters Oakland. A trophy and $300,000 is being battled for between the Brazilian side and French G2. But it does come down to a third map, and it does seem quite appropriate that we've seen the teams win their map picks up until now. Now it's not the case. It's Dust 2, and just before we went on, Sam, of course joining Janko, you said to me, this one feels like a 50-50. You have to explain why.
Well, G2 is great on Dust 2, and so is SK. But when it comes down to it, this is G2's best map. I don't think it's SK's best map.
Okay.
And at times, G2 players can absolutely dominate, especially when you get someone like Shox, and if they can get a double op setup even on CT side. Smith performs well on this map, although he hasn't been opping very well in these last best of twos. He's been rifling good. So now he's going to need to pick up the op, move around like he usually does on CT side, and have a good impact.
An impact player, Smith's on Dust 2. It does seem like that's the recurring theme. Whenever he is criticized, the bounce back is he has a great performance on Dust 2.
And I think it's also a matter of, you know, him and his state of mind. He knows he's comfortable playing Dust 2, so he's more confident in taking aggressive peaks. You know, like Smith is one of the players who is very known for taking that mid peak with the op, which is something that's extremely difficult, and he was able to find openings with that as well. But I think in general, Dust 2 just as a map can be very random because it can be dependent on spawns, right? T-side gets that long spawn, they're going to go for it, so it comes down to how do the CTs perform in holding that early on. That can break the round very, very early on. So looking at G2, they like to go for those types of plays, also explosive plays towards B, Shox creating space for the rest of the team.
Is it G2 that are known for kind of relentlessly hitting B, if I'm not mistaken, like to the point of where you, Janko, have shaken your head and not been able to explain it?
I mean, they have two different styles. They slow it down, they have that A execute with a lot of smoke, Molotov, Shox lurks either towards long or towards mid, and they have those explosive plays towards B. They might group up towards B with 4 players. Shox just goes out mid by himself to draw attention to himself so that the rest of the team can get into a perhaps empty bomb site if the CTs are focusing on mid, or the other way around, right? He's towards B, the team explodes mid.
Lots of B hits then coming out from G2. Your expectations and win conditions for an upset here and seeing SK knocked down in the quarterfinals, Dazed?
I think G2 on their CT side, we're going to see a lot of Smiths on catwalk with Shox. I think they need to stop any early aggression from SK and actually make it 4v5. You know, taking catwalk control. If their B aggression works on that B tunnels and Smith is able to op in there and get a pick, which I'm sure SK is going to be ready for, they're going to have success. But it's going to be about making it 4v5 and being able to set up. Right. If they can't set up and they can't get an early pick and it stays 5v5 CS, I really, really favor SK.
So you're suggesting as time goes on in the round, the likelihood of SK winning grows? As
long as it's 5v5 CS, yes. And that's one of the things we'll see if G2 is going to be successful on those early aggressions.
Drawing blood early. Janko, then, your final thoughts and a prediction, as it is now our third map, our final decider between G2 and SK.
I think it's going to come down to who can win more rounds on the T side in full gun rounds, because as we saw, both teams tend to win their CT pistols and have a good start on CT. That means you actually have to win gun rounds in order to reset them and get a couple of free anti-eco rounds. So, yeah, I think it's going to come down to that. In terms of the prediction itself, who's going to win? I don't do that, Alex.
You don't do that. This is the Mohican Janko. This is it. He's going to be rocking that one. Okay, let's go.
My original prediction was SK. I'm going to stick with it. I think G2 is very reliant on Smith here. We'll see if he comes through. If he comes through big, that's awesome for G2, and I'm happy for him. But he shoulders a lot of the load on this CT side.
I love it when you talk about loads. All right, let's get into it. It is our third map of the first quarterfinal. Who will meet Astralis? We'll find out with your casters as it's Dust 2 between French G2 and the Brazilian powerhouse.
Thank you very much, Alex. A bit of a weird end to the segment, but I do appreciate it anyway. Yes, we're getting into the third map here. It's our first quarterfinals of Intel Extreme Masters Oakland. It's been wild already. We've had some huge wins for both teams. G2 taking the first map 16-6, then they got knocked out of train 16-5 instead, and now we're on Dust 2. So hope you guys are ready for it. Sam, are you ready?
Yes, because this is the map that we've been waiting for pretty much. Nuke, easy win for G2. They completely crush SK Gaming. SK Gaming then get their map pick on train, run over G2, not even a fight. They actually did one better. It was 16-5 instead of 16-6 for SK Gaming on train. And so now we get to go into G2's strong map, yes, but SK are fired up. So it's Dust 2 with G2 starting on the T side and right into the pistol. Very little utility. Shoxy, in fact, going for the P250 smoke and flash. And let's see, FNX is in position to challenge on short, and I think they're going to do it fairly soon here. Fallen has got his back.
Yes, I really appreciate the P250. It can be very hard on this map to get close enough with the Glocks for them to really matter. SK have a huge chance of winning the pistol here with the USPs. They're so good, and we'll see if they can close the distance. They are getting up onto catwalk. There's 3 people waiting. Smith's just checking the smoke, and now we'll see if they can best it around the corner. FNX raiding. He's going to be the first point of contact from behind him. Cold Zero, FNX as well. It's headshots coming in all around. Double kill for Fallen, and that leaves Scream alone here. 1 on 3. He's got the 1 kill in, but how do you get out of this one?
You don't. You die. You got 38 HP. They know exactly where you are. He's boxed in now. Fur has rotated in to box him in on catwalk as well. Fallen completely gives up long, doesn't even care about it anymore. And if he tries to go CT, Taco is ready and waiting down there. And so now it's all about Scream just getting the bomb plant. He has no idea where Fallen is, though. He has to be thinking that Fallen is still holding it long, so he's going to have to try and plant for catwalk, but he's taken so much time that he just needs to go for the safe plant. Cross his fingers, hope, guarantee that money for his team.
And interestingly enough, because Fallen fell that far back, actually Scream can put the bomb down without really contacting anybody here. He's also still on a USP. This is the headshot machine, so let's not rule anything out, but he's going to have to really perform here. Out on catwalk, he can't fall back. He's out in the open, and he's going to be going down. That was a good kill for Fur. I mean, Scream, he would have to just basically not miss a single shot there for that to work out, so very tricky for him to try and pull it through. SK picking up the pistol round. Off to a good start.
And a hard counter. It's as hard as it gets. Look at this. This is at the same level of G2 taking the risk of having 4 players on B and then SK go running into it and SK bowled their way through. This time, however, SK, they hard counter G2 in the pistol, put 3 guys on catwalk. Like, if you're coming up catwalk, we are going to annihilate you. That's exactly what happened. So, real tough break here for G2, considering the beating they just took on Train. For them to lose the pistol in that fashion, it's not ideal. At least they get the bomb plant. But then that also speaks, for me, that also speaks to the confidence that SK are showing right now. They're like, we don't care if you get the bomb down. You know, we're so confident in our ability to retake it. We don't care if you get the bonus money. Just go ahead, you know, get it over with and move into the second round where SK Gaming have got the rifles.
Yeah, just making absolutely sure they didn't give that one away, and that is pretty much a smart play, I reckon. FNX over at long must have been able to hear them running into middle. They did run just a little bit. Now they are congregating towards the catwalk again. Fallen going to be the first point of contact this time. He's got a UMP and a Molotov, so it's hard for them to catch him on this corner. You see, just easily falls back and just delaying a little bit, but I mean, for them to catch him, they would have to basically just throw everyone at him.
Yeah, fully commit. Even though Fallen, there's nobody there to support him. What's happening now is FNX is pushing out through a long. He's boxed G2 in on catwalk. Cold Zero is going to be rotating back up as well. He's going to hear the footsteps. FNX is going to be in a prime position to just go rushing in. Scream going to be looking the wrong way here, and Fallen drawing attention to himself. At Ghosty bows them down. Quad kill for Fallen. FNX does get the drop on Scream eventually. And a 2-0 lead now for SK Gaming.
It's very...
So each of these teams has won their CT pistol, by the way, as well, across all 3 maps.
No, that's a very good point. They were able to get up there pretty quickly as well, just because they did the run boost, actually, to get out on catwalk. So really good job. They didn't really catch anyone, but still, that could have been interesting if they could have maybe closed in on Fallen there. That would have been fun times. That's 2-0 in favor of SK. Now, G2 have AKs. There's not a single AWP in play at all across the map. Which is not unusual, but it's worth pointing out because later on, I mean, if they get the double up on Cold Zero and Fallen, that'll be very hard to stop for G2.
Exactly. That's, I mean, Dust 2, it plays to that. Shoxy's going to get caught by FNX. That was an aggressive push in long house by FNX. There was a smoke down as well by the looks of it. And somehow he catches Shoxy looking the wrong way. Cold Zero boosted up on the boxes in CT. Will be able to dodge the attempt at G2 to bring it back to a 4-on-4. Scream gets rebuffed, and now, with 1:10 left on this clock, this is perfect for SK Gaming. At G2, all they can hope for are headshots. They have a single flash grenade to work with here to get onto a site.
Yeah, that means they can't smoke off CT spawn like they normally would to go for the B split. They're going to have to just fight Cold Zero, and with the UMP, they've lost 2 fights now, UMP versus AK, and that's just not good enough. Fur going to get the kill on body as well. That leaves RPK and Smiths with the bomb somewhere in between the 2 players. SK, solid lockdown here in the 3rd round.
This is the worst part as well, exactly. Fur's cut off RPK. He hears him stepping from a mile away, the easiest kill of Fur's life, even though he did make it look a little bit tricky there. Cold will find Smith, and this is looking like SK Gaming. This is what can happen on CT side, Dust 2. Good, I like the pause. There's the instant tactical pause. Shoxy, he has to know that things are getting a little out of hand here. He needs to slow down this pace because right now, G2 they're falling behind. They're losing the economic battle. They don't have the AWPs. They're allowing SK Gaming to not only dominate rounds, keeping a lot of players alive, but they're getting kills with UMPs as well. The economy is starting to really take off for SK Gaming, and this is the risk you run on Dust 2 CT side, is that sometimes if everything lines up and you get that perfect start, you can just completely shut a team out on their T side.
And you're right about the economy, because G2, across all 5 players in the first 3 rounds here, they have 3 kills total. So that's obviously nowhere near good enough. Fallen himself alone has 6-0 right now. So they need to put something on the board, and it is smart. I agree. You know, Shock's just making sure that his team doesn't lose all morale, that they get a chance to quickly just communicate and say, all right, it's fine. We're playing on the T side. We can still bring this back, definitely. 3-0 though early on, and a bit of a round coming out here with some deagles, but not really any armor picked up for the French side. We'll see if they can make this one work.
Yeah, it's going straight up catwalk here. Smith leading the way with the bomb, not hesitating one moment. Looks like they were able to get just enough information there from Shoxy with the peek at long to think that they could try and dart up here and catch SK Gaming out of position, at least allow for them to get the bomb plant down, but it's just not happening. Total and utter destruction waiting for them. 4-0 lead now for SK.
Look at that, a couple of Brazilian flags down in the crowd, so at least a couple of fans came prepared for this one. I like the little adjustment of putting RPK out in the middle to try and catch Cold Zero and CT spawn. It could have worked, but it didn't this time. Now we have the 8WP for Fallen, and G2, they don't have one to counter it with.
No, they're going to be hard pressed here. It's all on the AKs. Not being able to go to that AWP fight, that's going to hold them back. Fallen as well is going to be very tricky to get a lock on. He's in mid doors now, looking to see if he can't catch out Shoxy, who's right on the edge, right around the corner. And there's the info. Single grenade, and now Shoxy has something to go off of. He knows that the AWP is over here. In the meantime, Cold Zero holds the line at the long house, and he gets 2 headshots.
What a perfect Molotov to go down. FNX to clean it up. That's 4 kills traded for just the 1, and Fallen not going to miss the shot on Shoxy there. So that was just, I mean, textbook lockdown over at long. You have the crossfire. Even if they see the guy at container, they have to move up far enough that the pit player can see them. And even worse, they're standing on fire all the time that's happening. Now, 5-0 favoring SK Gaming. This is horrifying. Fallen hasn't even died yet.
We're 6 rounds in now, and G2 have a total of 4 kills. Scream and Smith have killed 4 people. What is this? It's a blowout. Taco hasn't even seen anybody yet.
Yep, they haven't gone B for him to really do anything. So obviously still a lot of variation left in G2 that they could try and do. But right now, they just need a confidence boost. They need to remind themselves, wait a minute, we can actually get the kills, and preferably the first of the round here. The entry frag is going to be so important. FNX and Fallen over at long in a bit of a strange position, in my opinion. This is one of those positions where you can very easily be pushed in so that you're just in the middle of long waiting. It's hard to hold this one. I'm not a big fan of it.
But this to me is where, like, the player, basically, this comes down to Shoxy to make the play. That's going to fire up his team. He's got to lead them. Cold Zero's ready for Audi to drop down there, but Scream is there to trade. And this is looking like the shift. Fur and Taco, however, finally in the fight. G2 trying to go for some kind of delayed B split. RPK will get the drop on Taco, so he does have that going for him, but it's still a man advantage. And the bomb is dropped out in mid. It's on Shoxy now to come up with a big shot. There it is. Headshot on FNX, but Fur is there to trade.
Comes out of the window, does take down the kill there. RPK with a good double. Now it's a one-on-one. Fallen inside. He hasn't even died yet. He just needs this 1 kill, and that might extinguish almost all hope for G2. Grenade going to be coming out, and there it is. He picks up the AK. Just 1 kill in the round, but it is enough. 9-1-0 for him, and 6-0 in favor of SK Gaming. I mean, G2, they are continuing to try and find a new variation. This time it was the B split, and it could have worked, but it didn't. Now another tactical timeout coming in here for G2.
Yeah, SK are very good right now about establishing that mid control. Basically, with Cold and CT, pretty much every round, they're counting on the two. They've made the 2-1-2 their default here for SK Gaming. 2 on the B site, 1 in mid, who's going to have that crossfire going with the man playing window at B, and then 2 guys over on A, focused on A long and on catwalk. So, I mean, right now, SK are just trying to cover the map, and the main thing is that they're just winning all of their duels. If Cold is able to trade 1-for-1, okay, great, that whittles G2 down. Then Fur comes in. I mean, each step of the way right now, SK, they're just winning their fights, whereas G2 are the ones who are really struggling to come out ahead. T side, it should be them finding the opening and then maintaining the man advantage, but it's completely flipped.
And now they're going into a round where they just sort of half buy. They save enough money for the upcoming round that they can still buy, but this time they do have armor and pistols, so we could expect a bit of a quicker round here. They're not going to go for the straight B rush. They were sort of gearing up for it, but it is, I mean, when SK have this much money to work with, going for a B rush is sort of asking to just be burned alive by all those Molotovs.
Yeah, smoke goes down, and there's their opening. Now they can try and work their way out through. There's the incendiary thrown by Cold just to buy a little bit more time. coldzera and Fur still working as that duo to try and control mid. It's Taco's job to just look at a door every round, all round, looking towards upper dark. But the push begins, smoke is down, and now Fur, flashed, has to fall back, give ground. And in the meantime, Taco, he needs to get the 2 kills, and he does. So we're into the 3-on-3.
This is maybe the best chance G2 have had so far in this map. Shox is hiding inside of the smoke. They're not realizing. Oh, they will catch him. coldzera, really good kill to come through. Now Body and Scream, they need to step it up. They have to win this round, G2. Otherwise, it's going to look really bleak. Scream going to go fighting up, but that's a great kill on FNX. Now it's down to a 2-on-2, and the bomb is still ticking. Body, is he going to try and challenge through those double doors? You've got to be very careful about that. coldzera sneaking in from upper, but Scream going to take him out. 3rd kill of the round for him, and Fallen, he gets the message. He's not welcome, and G2 going to pick up their first round of Dust 2 finally.
Finally. On a rush play, on a on a half buy as well. Money that they were just trying to save their money for the next round. Now they're going to have a fantastic economy here, G2. They could go for double up. They could go for any number of things, but that is a big round for them. Considering it was really just looking a little bit grim there. SK 6 rounds in a row, just dominating. Wait a second. Taco? Why not? If he's playing Anchor B, if he's just sitting on plateau the entire time, having an op over there, that does work. Just a bit surprising not to see Cold, but Cold is going to get tagged. So sometimes, you know, there is a balance. Maybe they trade the guns now.
Well, I think you're right, though. It probably is because they want Taco to stay on that B bomb side no matter what. So they just want the firepower. He's playing it from a slightly different angle than I would have expected. And actually, it seems like they've almost swapped positions here. I kind of expected Taco to be at the back of plateau with that rifle, but we'll see how it all turns out here. Fallen has one on the other side, and right now they need much, much more here. G2, they need to at least equalize the score just to start feeling good about themselves. And they could start with a kill on Fallen here. They could pop flash him out of this.
I mean, it could happen. This is their golden opportunity, really. Money is not through the roof on SK Gaming's side, so this could be where they try and shift it around. There's only one man with about 8K. Fallen going to miss a flick. Usually pretty consistent about hitting shots like that, but this time around he's going to have to fall back. And Smith with the angle now gets to wait and see if Fallen's ever going to get greedy over here towards A. But Fallen playing that very solid position over by the cars. It's just going to be looking towards Catwalk. Luckily for G2, though, they have all utility necessary here. They have the smokes, they have the flashes, everything they need to force Fallen off of this angle.
FNX actually going to go and stand hard on the side. He's going to push into them right now. That's a crazy play coming out of FNX. He's going to get a double kill for it in return, and Fur helping out. Fallen, last kill of the round here. Double for him, too. That's such a crazy play for FNX. Normally, I think he would just be playing on the slope up at A. He actually ran all the way towards Gandalf and then all the way into Catwalk just to fight them as they're coming through the smoke.
Sometimes you just have to do the unexpected, right? FNX, this is a disaster, though, for G2. They just got their money hard reset. Everything has to go into this round. Somehow they have the money to afford getting this AWP here for Shoxy, so we'll see if he can get anything out of it. But G2 now, they're on the brink. If they lose this round here, it's all gone, because SK, they survived with 5 players alive last round. Their money is going to be solid.
They spot up Fur. He can't really easily repick this, so he's just going to have to wait for backup until Taco shows up. He's in the window, but Fur's already down. Taco looking for the shot, and he's going to win it against Shox there. That's an important kill. Taco repeaking right now could cost him the round, but the bomb is all the way over on Catwalk for G2, so this is an extremely confusing round. They have the bomb site. This is perfect. They just don't have the bomb there. They've sort of got it backwards here. Now Fallen going to push in with the Tech 9 looking for Smith. He's going to run him down. Oh, no. The bomb is dropped. It can't happen. They had the bomb site. They don't have the bomb. This is horrific.
My eyes are just twitching at this point, Anders. I have no idea what the hell is going on here. G2 get the bomb, but then they're pushing Catwalk with the bomb? I don't understand. G2, this round is all over the place. It's almost like a wash. SK Gaming now, they have everything they need. They still have so many grenades left to just continue buying time. It really is just going to come down to G2. 2 players just throwing themselves in here bodily to see if they can pick that bomb up. No grenades left either for G2 to make anything happen.
No, and you see Taco just putting up another smoke there. They're just burning time off the clock right now. This is ridiculous. I mean, that's a clear sign of panic, I think, on the French team. That was not meant to go down that way. Now they're going to try and see if they can commit to it here. 24 seconds. SK, they might well steal this round in spite of not having a good setup for it at all. Cold Sierra is going to get the kill on Body and RPK and Scream. They might as well not even bother here. FNX going to pick up one. Scream around the corner. He's going to be going down. That's Fallen now at 13, 1, and 0. He still has not died. This man is indestructible.
This is unbelievable. But really, right now, G2, they're getting mopped. They cannot seem to get anything right. And that's so tough to see because against SK Gaming were not looking that solid throughout the group phase. They had to struggle for a few of their games, so they're not in peak performance right now. But this just shows that this could have gone either way. And right now, G2 are just failing to get their heads into it. Fur giving Shoxy a taste of his own medicine. Shoxy usually goes for the Dust 2 push up straight mid like that, aggressive with the MP9. But Fur showing that he can go ahead and play that game too.
Considering the caliber of this game and how much is at stake, I mean, if we discount online games, Fallen has got to be close to hitting a record here. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Someone's 10 rounds in a row hasn't died. 14, 2, and 0. So if someone go on Twitter or someone tell us if we're getting close to one here, use the hashtag IEM. This is crazy. We are in the 11th round, and I mean, Fallen, he was only gearing up on Train, and he was already wrecking G2, and now it's even worse.
Well, the timing isn't going to work this time for Smiths. Just a little bit late with the shot. SK Gaming changing it up as well. It seems like to them, they've convinced themselves. They've convinced G2 not to go for this B split, but Taco at risk. He's going to get forced, but he hits the shot on Shoxy. No chance for Shoxy to open things up. And his teammates, the rest of them, they lost the bomb in mid. What is going on?
I just have no explanation for what we're seeing here. Cold Sierra almost getting caught. He does get caught, but the refrag is there for FNX, and that leaves Body 1 versus 3 here. And suddenly, they've got Targo. We've seen this a couple of times before, but that is actually, it's a very interesting depth that's developing him as a player. He's known as the run-and-gun superstar, you know, running through smoke, picking up kills, and that's sort of almost the opposite of what you expect out of someone who uses the AWP, but he's still making it work, and they're still at 10-1.
He's hitting shots. I mean, Shoxy, where was the rest of Shoxy's team, though? I mean, this is fine and dandy, but I would like to have the mini-map just to be able to show you that Shoxy, he's alone completely. His other two teammates are just sitting in upper dark. Nobody there to follow it up. They aren't really trying to take it out, and then the bomb is dropped in mid. Alone. A guy pushes mid doors alone. It's just really, I mean, it's wonky right now. G2, they're making a lot of very painful mistakes.
You have to expect that they are probably in full-on panic mode here. This is a collective team tilt. Nobody can hold on, and they're all sliding over the edge right now. Fallen, grenade to take out Body. They're going to try and jump him. This may be his first death. Finally, they take care of the raid boss. It happened. I'm not sure it's going to win them the round, but that has got to feel a little bit good. Cold Sierra going to pick it up 17-1, and they finally ended.
He got one with a nade too, by the way. He
Yeah.
throws the HE and then pins Smith to the wall. But yeah, I mean, this is just full-on style here from Fallen. Boom.
Even midair. I
love
mean, what do you do at this point in time? SK, the money is now officially out of control. Fallen has 13,000, and Taco has 11,000. So G2, they're not going to force SK to eco anytime soon, and that's a good shot. Patient play from Taco, not going to try for the shoulder shot there, just waiting until Shox is all the way out in the middle, and there's no follow-up.
We're seeing a really good variety here of setups from SK Gaming. Shoxy comes around that corner, he's looking at doors where Fur has been playing pretty much the entire half, and this is the round where they change it up, where Taco's just holding from window with that AWP. Shoxy, not pre-aiming that angle, just gets tagged. So this, I mean, G2, they can't get anything to go right here. SK Gaming, everything is falling so nice and neat into place. Double spray for FNX on the B side at the end. It's completely shutting G2 out, and it's a 12-1 scoreline right now. G2 not able to just do anything here versus SK Gaming. I mean, SK Gaming, this is that worst-case scenario that I was talking about at the beginning of the half, where on CT side Dust 2, if a couple of things go your way, you can just look completely dominant. And it leaves your opponents just wondering what can they do against Lady Luck and against skill like this.
I mean, we're seeing something that is just a missing component in this G2 team, because when SK lost that first map, they looked defeated, and then they came back into it. They were mentally ready to take on the fight. When G2 lost on Train, it did not seem like they managed to pick themselves up into the next map here, into Dust 2. They just couldn't really bring it back, and that's really important. SK are benefiting hugely from that right now. I just have no idea. I mean, at this point in time, Fallen is 2 kills away from having as many as the entire G2 team. That's where we're at.
17-3-1. He's even shared with his teammates 3 assists. You know, he's not hogging it all for himself. He's willing to share, as a good leader should. I mean, let's see. I mean, it is going to be the A split. We haven't really seen them go long in quite some time. So Shoxy going to lead the way. FNX going to mow him down. There's Fallen missing the shot. This is the opening. The big play is possible here now for G2. They've got the man advantage going on to the A site.
We'll see if they can close this one out. They are they gonna try and run boost their way past? That was maybe the most pathetic run boost that I have ever seen, but they did make it across safely. Taco gonna go for a bit of a fight against Scream, and he wins it. Now it's a 2-on-2. They're making their way along G2. They set this up nicely. Surely they can close this one out. Taco alone, 1-on-2. They try for a boost. Very dangerous. He's got the AK. He's getting closer. Hasn't reloaded yet. Gonna go for the spray. He wins it against 1, but Smiths will save the round with a double kill, and G2 gonna make it a 2nd round for themselves.
Very well done there. That was a fantastic shot from Scream. FNX could have reigned supreme there. And Scream, with the kill, he gets picked off early, but it looked like he spotted both players. With how the rest of G2 reacted to the situation, they didn't care about Catwalk or CT at all at that point. So it looks like Scream, even in dying, he set his teammates up with all the info necessary to win that round. So G2 showing that they still have some fight in them. 12-2, massive lead for SK Gaming, but G2 still willing to go toe-to-toe here. 4 rifles in the AWP. Smith's the only man really with utility apart from body. The rest of them are pretty broke right now, so again, they have to hope that SK Gaming gets so overconfident that they're going to start making mistakes. And look at this. It's like 4 people in mid right now for SK Gaming. What is going on?
I don't know what we just saw, but yeah, they did all just sort of congregate in the middle and then fall away. FNX goes down at long. Fallen there to pick up the angle. Very dangerous. We saw what happened last time. If you miss a shot right here, then they're going to hunt you down on long and right around the corner. Shock's going to be walking in. Flashbang comes out. Timing couldn't be better.
Oh, that shoulder peek. It works. Fur going to get caught by RPK. RPK traded by Cold, but still, they've got full control of the A site now, G2. Everything going their way in these last 2 rounds. Cold Zera and Taco. Well, just Taco now in a 1v4. Tough scenario for him, but it's the 15th round. There's no saving. Just get in here and take the fight if you can.
I mean, it's good that they probably are going to be picking up this last round here. Taco's been playing pretty well, but I don't see him winning a 1v4. But you've got to feel like it's just way too late. I doubt they'll be celebrating all that much, but they will get the 3rd round to the 12 of SK here. This is the 3rd map. Winner gets to go on and play in the semifinals tomorrow. And right now, I mean, it's looking like it's going to be SK 12-3, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with us. We'll be right back after a quick break with the 2nd half.
I think they are definitely outpacked.
The B site, 1 in mid. He's going to have that crossfire.
And is brought to you in part by Intel, HyperX, G Fuel, Kingwin, iBuyPower, Best Buy, Totino's, Acer, and Xfinity.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are witnessing SK decimating G2 in the third map here at the quarterfinals Intel Extreme Masters Oakland. It's been just shocking at this point. It has been a team effort, but still the head of that spear right now has fallen. 17-3 is the scoreline. Just, I mean, the road for any kind of a comeback here, I don't know what it would look like, Semler.
It'd be a long, drawn-out, bloody struggle in which G2 basically pull a fallen. Shoxy comes alive and goes 14-0 without dying and basically leads the way for his team, because otherwise it's just not going to happen. Good night. FNX is there with a double kill on long, and that pretty much ends it.
And nobody's even won a seaside pistol round so far. If SK do it here, what's left? And Scream picking up some very good kills, but in the middle, Fur is going to be going down, and suddenly we are in a 2-on-2. Cold Zero going to make the cross here with no smoke or anything and go straight for the bomb plant. He's even going to plant it. Oh, he could have planted really risky then, but now he knows they're up catwalk. He's a little bit worried. Taco taking a fight with Shox. If he wins that, I don't know what the body could do anymore. Taco, long fight coming in here, and he hits the headshot now. All on body, out in the open. And look at that, they're going to double peek him. He gets one headshot, and that drops the bomb now. Taco pushing closer. He has the Glock, and Body still has no cover back here. He's going to be going down. Double kill for Taco. 13-3. I don't know how many more nails in the coffin before it goes into the ground here, Sam. It can't be many.
Well, I mean, of course, it had to be SK to break the streak at this point. Each team on all three maps basically has won their CT pistol until now. SK Gaming pick up the T-side pistol, 13-3, 10-round lead here, and this is the last map of this series. This is this is to decide who goes on to the semifinals. And G2 are getting blown away. What is this?
Completely annihilated at the moment, out on long. Taco does what he does best, run and gun UMP to pick up a double kill there. And you saw the great smoke that Cold Zero put out from T-spawn. It lands actually as the CTs get there, and it just denies that long control very, very efficiently. Now, Body and Scream, they do have a scout, they do have a deagle. It's getting harder and harder right now, Sandro, to find the silver lining here for G2.
Yeah, no, life is looking pretty grim. Scream is now the last man alive here. Fallen tracks down Body. In the meantime, he'll get an easy kill there on Fur. Looked like Fur was trading out from the UMP or something like that. Wrong gun to have at that time. But still, it's a 1-on-3 with the bomb heading over towards the B site, and there's a man waiting outside along. Exactly. It's just inevitable. It's just so painful to watch for G2. You can fight the good fight, but 14-3, and G2, they're on $2,000.
I mean, painful, yes, on the one hand, but also just quite shocking and quite exciting to see SK back at this level, you know.
That's one way.
Just get the 4 scouts and the 5-7.
Why not? Let's go, boys. Everybody in mid. See if you can find the pick, and they can't even find the pick.
No, had a bit of a fight with Fur and FNX, but no kill happening yet. It's not a bad choice, though. I mean, like we used to say, there really is no wrong play at this point in time. You just have to try. Shox will be taking out Taco, so that's a start.
I think they're trying to figure out right now, SK, like, this must be a troll. How do we deal with this now? Because you already have Shox pushed out again, mid-doors. He's waiting for that lower dark peak. Cold's are going to walk right into it. Cold wins the duel. However, Shoxy gets taken out. So we're into the 4-on-4. Fur and FNX have both been tagged, however. And it does look like they want to take over long as well. They have the nades necessary to do this. Still 2 smokes left to use here for SK Gaming.
Smith's got to be walking in catwalk there, just listening if anyone is there. He's not really spotted out Cold Zero yet. And SK really slowing this to a crawl, but they have the time for it. We're still at 50 seconds here.
And, well, yeah, exactly. With 50 seconds left, they don't even commit fully to long. They're just forcing G2 all over the place. G2, now that they haven't spotted anything, are going to spread back out around the map again. Scream and Body are in mid. Smoke goes down on headshot box to make things even more murky here for G2. And this is going to come down to a risk, and Body's looking to try and take it. He's got eyes on top mid right now. We'll see if he can actually get the man that's going to be Cold Zera coming out through lower dark in just a second.
Well, that's the really big risk here. Point blank, he does get the shot in, but it's not a kill. And now trapped up here in Goose. Smith's Molotov going to land right on him, and Fur coming in from long to take him out. RPK and Scream both down. That's Cold Zera in lower dark, picking up a quad kill now. Actually overtaken Fallen in kills. He's at 22-8. That is still a very impressive ratio. And this is match and map point, ladies and gentlemen. G2 would need to win 12 rounds in a row to even fight for overtime here.
Shox with the FAMAS. Okay, then. Could have gone for Deagle, could have done something like that, get some nades, but no. He's going to have the rifle, and we'll see if he can make anything happen with it. Smith with that CZ-75, setting up the push. Nicely done with the flash, but he's not able to connect with the shots. And a whole host of people waiting for him on the other side of that smoke. There's just no way out. Fallen will eventually find the kill there, and it's on Shoxy now with that FAMAS. He's pushed all the way up to top mid, but they were waiting for it. FNX not going to get caught off guard.
Wow, this is just one of those games where nothing is working. G2 destabilized during train, and they never came back from it. SK just would not allow it. Now it's a 3-on-5 here. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to even imagine what you can really learn from this. I think this comes down to sort of a team chemistry thing. You need to be able to bounce back from a big loss, and I don't know how you even do that. Fallen gonna take out RPK, who just tired of playing.
He wanted a Viking funeral, Anders. That's what happened. You know, they didn't have the boat, but they had the fire for him.
Yeah, I mean, one is good enough, I suppose. Body and Scream left here, just trying to see if they can maybe land another headshot or two. And even now, even all the way at the edge, SK slow play it. They're not going to throw anything away here.
Take your time, savor this, SK, as you completely and utterly destroy your opponents. Taco with the final kill in this best of 3. This quarterfinal is over. It is going to be SK moving on to the semifinals, and just a dominant performance from them. Truly impressive work. G2, last 2 maps of this best of 3, never able to get their heads into the game. Just not able to show us anything at all.
I mean, a scary message being sent to whoever they're going to be playing next. This is obviously very, very worrisome that they can be at this kind of a level here. I think that's going to be Astralis, right, if I'm not mistaken. So they had better watch out. This looks like an SK team that could really go the distance, which many people did predict. I think, in fact, the majority did. But right now, that prediction is looking rock solid. What an incredible performance coming out of the Brazilian side here. And I don't even know what to say, especially that last map, out of control.
Just running away with it on the CT side of Dust 2 it just looks so painful. When your aggression pays off, your peaks pay off, you leave G2 wondering what they need to do next. How, like, when they get hard countered immediately in the pistol round. Don't forget, SK, they had the most beautiful setup, 3 players waiting on catwalk, and G2 tried to slow play it. They went over towards upper halls, but then they walked right into the trap, and it felt like the entire half played out that way, where they were just constantly a step behind.
Just extremely well done. Fallen ended up at 24-4 as a scoreline. He's on the stage with OJ. Please take it away, OJ.
Thank you very much, Anders. We'll come to the team in just a second, but you yourself, some of the plays there, outrageous.
Outrageous, yeah, it was a great match. They got us the first map, but we kept our heads up because we knew we had a good train. And Dust 2 is a map that we have been working hard, such as Nuke, but for some reason we can't perform that good on Nuke yet, so we're going to keep performing better.
Well, it's great to talk to you as part of this Totino's player interview. As a team, I know you took a break after one of the majors, after your major win. Do you feel now you're starting to get your sharpness back? Do you think the few losses you've had, the fact that you've not looked at the top of your game, was that just rustiness?
No, I think it's a question of map pool. We have been working to get better on some maps that we are not good on the past. And that's giving our opponents some chance, to be honest. We have a lot of good maps, but on others we need some work. But nonetheless, I think G2 is a great team. They played super well, and it was a hard match as well, as always.
So Astralis in the semi-finals, their new lineup, obviously they've changed slightly. You've played them once, I think, and you've been beaten by them. Do you have anything you're going to change when you take them on in the semis tomorrow?
Astralis, revenge is coming for you, my friend.
Oh! It was a fabulous win. It's great to talk to you again. Fallen and the rest of the SK Gaming boys. And that was 5 Brazilians looking very, very good as we hand back to the analyst desk. There is one Brazilian up there which is also looking very, very good, which Alex the Machine Richardson can tell us about right now.
Thanks very much, OJ. Yes, a quick reminder that I did have the Brazilian experience here in Oakland.
What do you mean, Alex? Can you specify?
Sure. So I had various parts of my lower body hair removed with hot wax for charity, and I'm currently walking like a cowboy because of it. Joining me, though, is Wanke and Daze back onto topic. Swiftly, not what we bargained for. We set the scene. You know, the words out of your mouth were 50-50. This is going to be a coin toss. G2's best map, not SK's best map. It turns out, I mean, SK, they did their homework. Full in the interview there with OJ so eloquently put it. We've been working hard on Dust 2. Was there evidence of that hard work on their CT side, Dazed?
Oh, absolutely. I think they read G2 as a team very, very well. I don't know how much homework SK did, but Semler talked about it during the cast, like the hard counters, just from pistol round and onward. If you watched FNX and coldzera during the gun rounds, they rotated absolutely perfectly. There was multiple rounds where FNX early rotated off long, didn't even watch it, went past Fallen, straight towards mid-B, straight towards catwalk to impact the rounds. Then, when they read that they were going to go long as G2, guess what? coldzera was long. He was sitting at the blue bin, I believe it was. They shut that down, and from there it was just clockwork. You know, G2 won their one round after that or whatever, and they got immediately reset. Yeah. But, you know, at that point it was like 10-1 before G2 got another couple rounds, so it was just domination.
So when SK are controlling a game like that, how much do we read into the score of G2, the frags they're providing? I mean, how much do we kind of start thinking there was an underperformance as well from the French side?
I mean, there definitely was. It just shows you the level of dominance that SK exerted, and it's extremely hard to play against a CT-sided Opera who's on fire as much as Fallen was. I mean, he didn't die for the better part of that first half, and you can see how G2, they realize that they're getting picked off as well early in the round, so they try to group up, right, to avoid that, but they can't just make the entry kill, right? It doesn't, if you don't get the, if two of your players die before you get onto the bomb site, even if you do get into the bomb site eventually, it's going to be a relatively easy retake for the CTs.
While you continue to talk about Fallen and his prowess, of course, 20 frags and 4 deaths, we can just bring up some of the plays he made. It wasn't always the AWP he needed to do some damage. You can see mowing down 4 people in quick succession.
Yeah, and I mean, they won that round, but the round afterwards, FNX picked off Shoxy at long with an up, and then they tried, G2 smartly tried to attack mid to B against umps, right? But coldzera was still able to make it 3v5. They win that round with only 1 death. On the third round, when they have umps, and G2 has full AKs. 1 death.
It's just kind of a bitter pill to swallow, and you realize just how little damage you did to them.
The thing about SK is they have so much knowledge of how to read the other team. Like, they really did know exactly what G2 was doing before they did it, because they got in that groove, and G2 tries one thing, it doesn't work. Oh, let's try this on the other side of the map. Right. And when you have players like coldzera playing that swing position now, he's not really playing mid-B very much, he reads the game like nobody else, and he was always one step ahead.
It is insane, actually, when you see the correlation between coldzera not necessarily having the most frags, but doing the most ADR. Like, it's ridiculous how often we look at the scoreboard and his ADR is above almost all of the other players of SK.
I think he had something ridiculous. Like, his only tournament where he had a below 1 rating was Katowice. This year.
The only tournament.
Every other tournament, every other LAN tournament, he's had over 1 rating, so which is just insane consistency. Sure, his team was the best team in the world for a while. He has great teammates, but still to have that level of performance is pretty insane. And I thought for me that the apparent example of how SK was really prepared for G2 on Dust 2 was the round where G2 went for their smoke execute towards A, and SK just won the round flawlessly. Like, FNX was being aggressive precisely because he knows that even if that smoke falls, the players are going to be pushing, so he just plays super aggressive, and G2 doesn't get a single kill in that round.
Yeah, complete stomp for our final map. But before, you know, we start talking about that semi-final that has been locked in, I do just want to kind of reflect upon the series as a whole, Sam. Fallen, in his own words, with it, OJ stated, we've done equal amounts of homework for Nuke. We didn't see that. I mean, G2, they started with a map win. Surely, I mean, we can give them some credit. We can find some silver linings for the French side here.
And you know, even though they dominated them on Dust 2, I think if they play that map 10 different times, G2 could definitely beat them 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
So they, like G2, I give them so much credit because I really do believe that they gave themselves the absolute best opportunity for them to win in this best of 3.
Right. So with the vetoes, with the performance we saw from them, even on train, you were crediting.
Even on train, I credited them. I think they did what they needed to do to possibly get that win. It's just, when you start out that poorly on Dust 2, the catwalk setup that they had on Pistol, just annihilating them, winning the ump round, right? That round, G2 definitely could have won because they didn't hard counter them or anything. They just won it as individuals. But from then on, SK, I really think like they knew what Shoxy and the G2 guys were going to do before they even knew.
And that's a very scary premise. I mean, if you do look at the ADR and you look at the numbers, you can't, I mean, when you get stumped like this, you can't sit there pointing fingers, can you? I mean, when everyone is almost all beneath double digits, scream an exception, Yanko, you just accept it, you cut your losses, you say, right, Dust 2, we got smashed. Do you agree with Sam's sentiments that they play 10 times, G2 would be picking up 2 or 3 wins?
I mean, for sure, because it is their best map. They've shown that they can be proficient on it in the past as well. This is a rare occasion in a sense that where everything goes right for SK, they get good reads, and their players are also very, very on point individually. And on the other hand, G2, yes, being a bit unlucky, but also not showing up in the decider game.
And can we get excited for the SK Astralis semi-final, Sam? Is this something that fans can get excited for?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Astralis is looking great. And like we talked about earlier when we were, talking about the tournament as a whole, if there's 10 different tournaments in Counter-Strike now, we could see 10 different winners.
Yeah.
Well, probably not 10, but...
You're close to it. I mean, we've seen 7.
Last 7 big tournaments, 7 different winners. So.
Yeah, and the definition of big we're using is like over 250,000, I believe, which is, of course, putting Oakland in that category. We'll be seeing if we do get a different winner tomorrow, but the games do continue today. We're going to be seeing our second quarterfinal after a break. Another Brazilian side takes to the stage. Unfortunately, no North Americans for the North American crowd, but plenty from South America. It's going to be Immortals versus NIP after our break. You will not want to miss this. We'll be talking all about that in just a moment.